technical and vocational education is something that we should be putting at the front. There's a need to reform that so that secondary schools have a bit of technical and vocational education, so that we give it a priority. We should fund it. And the third aspect that needs to be done is put more emphasis on science at all levels. It should be funded. And lastly, put all girls in school, let them stay in school until when they're about 20 years old. When they're 20 years old and they've not given birth, they will not be increasing the number of children. They will not be increasing poverty in the country. So to me, those are the issues in the education sector that we need to think about.
So much for having joined us, and a very blessed day from us right here.
Thank you.
And we continue to discuss on how better we can improve our standards of living and the way of life as individuals, and also for our businesses. Now let me turn back to Innocent Kawoya, who is the CEO Hi People. He was very well telling us on how his journey of being to the top of the CEO came up. But away from that, let me take it from what Professor is from, addressing to us, that some people do not feel good enough of what they are executing. For example, people offering or taking on courses at the university or institutions, they just say, "Ndiku course," not even wanting to display the course. Yeah. What is your take on that?
Thank you, Rita. Partly, society has made so many great human think so less of who they are.
Okay.
And the biggest contributor to that is media. Yeah. Sabarino State is so well. I have followed part of his initiatives, especially the Zoom arrangements, and the different topics they cover that are empowering people who are already in business to learn, whether you are educated or not, are unique and speak to a lot of things that we do in our space. But media, for many times, has been used for the wrong reasons. Those who do not ideally are supposed to be inspiring so many are given the space in media. And those who have the sense, the constructive content and foundational material are given no space almost everywhere you go. I mean, bad news will fly everywhere. And when someone studies so well and achieves, I mean, even your neighbor alone, I think, doesn't ever get out to say, this year, these students were best because of ABCD, apart from giving us the results and all that. And I think that creates a very big gap in ensuring that we create an ecosystem that motivates and empowers different people. And yes, those who think that they're supposed to have degrees and PhDs and all that, and they think that is supposed to be the most important representation of what success is, there's been a very big shift in how things should be done. Even the economies we admire in America, Europe, have shifted from you having papers, but they are more interested in you having skills. I remember growing up, many times in my P7 vacation, I didn't want to go to secondary school, I wanted to go to vocational because I wanted to do something practical and tangible.
A course.
Yeah, a course, yeah. Even in my senior 4 vacation, the same thing happened to me. And because I was thinking, there is more I am able to do, and because there is more that I am able to do, I should be able to use my time to learn. It's the reason why you see Hi People running initiatives, very practical initiatives, like the 40 Days for the Fintechs, like the Women in Fintech Hackathon Summit, and now we have an incubator. And what we are telling, and funny enough, is majority of the like the winners for last year's Women in Fintech Hackathon are actually students from universities. And some are from MOBS, others are from Makerere University and Chambogo and the others. And they're all saying, oh, the things we are learning here are things that no one has told us about in university. Why? Yes, academia should be and should live like Professor stated it. The girl child should remain learning until when maybe they're even more than 20 years.
Okay.
because it helps in controlling many other things. But what are they going to be learning? That's the question. The content that they're being given should be able to transform them and make them better women, better citizens of this world, and make them contribute to the general economic growth of our economy. Yeah.
Very well, thank you so much. And Innocent, you are a leader. Away from that, you are a businessman. Where do you rate, or how do you even rate the governance of NRM for 36 years now in power? How do you rate it?
Well, I am a leader. I was born a leader, and I usually prefer calling myself an entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur, very well. Well said.
Yeah, not a businessman. And I would say, of course, like Professor Balonwa has stated, so many things have been done well and rightly, and so many things still need to be improved and done well. I am born of the NRM generation and government. So, yeah, as in I was born in the time when government was already running. So I have not seen any other government. To start with, I have no comparisons to make. When someone comes telling me about what used to happen in the other government, I know that.
You have no comparison.
I have no comparison because I don't know what they did. The only thing I can tell you is that much as there is still a lot of challenges, a lot of bureaucracy running in different organs of government, there's been an environment, a very important environment that has been created for us, like for entrepreneurs. I mean, running an organization like High People for the last 17 years in Uganda, much as we've had very many challenges and hardships, there is not any single one hardship that I can attach to directly saying government didn't do this for us. Because it's right and true that we are supposed to be running in what we call a private sector-led economy. And as citizens of the country, we are supposed to contribute to the general growth of our economy. One, by creating opportunities. The government is supposed to create and provide rails that help us establish a favorable ground for us to operate. But then when government provides that, we are supposed to innovatively come up with ideas and create solutions we believe should be able to solve problems of ourselves, our families, our communities, and the economy at large.
Okay, and that is very well said. We look at now the youth. Let us say Fenna tuliva born of the Chisanja Cham Museveni. And this has come along with a lot of challenges from the youth, claiming that there is nothing to do, there is a lot of unemployment. I mean, how can you address that? We are now helping the youth clearly get to know that there are opportunities out there that they can embrace, not keeping in complaints all the time. Please.
Well, for starters, for the youth out there, we're all youth like you. We're complaining does not solve anything, and keeping on saying government at Uyambe will not solve any of your problems. Why? Because government is supposed to be doing another job at a larger extent. Like you've heard Professor Balonwa saying, 95% of university students in MOBS alone are private students that pay for themselves. So 5%, which is about 1,000 students, are the ones that are paid for by government. Meaning we are supposed, like someone commonly says to every like they say, it is our responsibility. But firstly, it is responsibility of many of those leaders we vote, the MPs, the local leaders and all that, to put together whatever resources there is, especially informational material, foundational material about learning. I mean, the things like are being done at MOBS, taking the university to the people, should be initiatives we should all be a part of. The corporate entities that are gaining a lot of profit, of course they are investing at the same time from the economy, should also get into a corporate social responsibility that focuses on empowering their customers. Education. I mean, globally, organizations like Microsoft set out to create education schemes to teach and educate people, that their customers, so that their customers can become professionals. Not just to use their products, but to be employable elsewhere.
Okay.
And I mean, it is something, we're doing it with high people a lot. I mean, we know who our customers should be. With our business to customer model, we want to make sure we have taught so many musicians on how to use technology to empower themselves. We've taught so many women. We've shared a lot of information with very many fintechs. And the intention is that if we empower these ones, the model of business to business, there are thousands of businesses in the middle. If each one of them empowers 1 million people, then we are creating the real sustainable impact, because we cannot do everything alone.
Okay, so it is empowering business to business so that you create a very long-lasting ecosystem. And it's time for me to let you go, but what is that thing that you can leave without, mentioning around here or saying in regards to keeping sustainable development for the people, just within seconds?
Well, the last thing is, one, I wish to always extend thanks to our generous partners and sponsors, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They're doing, supporting things that High People does, like Include Everyone program, in many places around the world. And donor agencies, foundations around the world, governments and all that should embark on supporting initiatives like this, to make sure that we create a cycle, an ecosystem of supporting the youth, the women, the children, the people with disabilities and all that kind of stuff. It is the only way we are able to create a sustainable economy, global economy, that includes and benefits everyone.
Thank you so much. And this is Smart 24 TV and SMB. I'm Rita Kabanyoro. We take a break. We do return with more on business information.